Hey up, it's the old Yorkshire geek here, back with some more news. So we'll just crack on, we'll just get on with it straight away, because I've got a bit to get through. And I just want to get it over with. Not had a great day today, but that's my problem. Right, where were we? We were at the beginning, because that's a very good place to start. This is the big news of the day. Star Wars. Christopher Lloyd joins The Mandalorian Season 3 by The Hollywood Reporter. As usual, all the links are in the description box below. Don't forget to like... Where are we? There we go. Like, up there in the red box. Like and subscribe and comment and share the videos and use the notification bell and all that cool stuff, because it helps the algorithm. Apparently. I don't understand all this technological stuff. Right, Star Wars, Christopher Lloyd joins The Mandalorian Season 3. Where he's going, the actor won't need roads. But a hyperdrive might help, and there he is. Christopher Lloyd is adding another iconic sci-fi franchise to his storied career. The Back to the Future actor is on the call sheet for The Mandalorian, the Disney Plus Star Wars show that is currently filming its third season in Southern California. Character details for his role have been kept locked in the trunk of a DeLorean. Very witty. But it has been described as guest starring in nature. Lucasfilm could not be reached for comment. Somebody on Twitter said, "What if he's voicing Grogu?" That'd be funny. Lloyd played time-travelling scientist Dr. Emmett Brown in the Back to the Future trilogy, 1985 to 1990, with the role becoming the most enduring in his long career. On the sci-fi front, he also played the villainous Klingon Commander Krug in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Molch Choi Chu. There, that means beam me up in Klingon. Maltz beam me up. He's a multiple Emmy winner, including for the seminal sitcom Taxi, 78-83. Recently, he appeared in the Bob Odenkirk action movie Nobody for Universal, which is very good, as well as the George Clooney directed The Tender Bar, which I've not seen. The Mandalorian has a record of bringing in characters from legendary franchises. Michael Biehn, the star of The Terminator and Aliens, and The Abyss, appeared in a memorable Season 2 episode, for example. The Mandalorian, from executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, launched in November 2019 as Disney Plus's flagship show, helping propel impressive subscriber growth. Season 2 ran in late 2020, with the first spin-off, The Book of Boba Fett, debuting December 28th. The Mandalorian stars Pedro Pascal as a bounty hunter. Well, he does the voice, and occasionally, when they need him with his helmet off, that's when he's there. As a bounty hunter who becomes embroiled with Grogu, a young charge of the alien race that also counts Yoda as a member, and Yaddle. Along with Pascal, series mainstays expected to return include Carl Weathers and Giancarlo Esposito. No release date has been revealed for The Mandalorian Season 3. Lucasfilm is currently prepping for the May 25th debut of Obi-Wan Kenobi, starring Ewan McGregor. There you go. So I wonder what it's going to be. What do you reckon? A goodie or a baddie? I think it'll be a goodie, but I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? As we saw when they were younger, he could play a baddie because Commander Krug were a proper baddie. Ordered the execution of Kirk's son David, didn't he? Well, he didn't, not specifically. He just said, kill one of the hostages. He didn't care which one, and it turned out to be. It were going to be Savik. The Klingon were going to stab Savik in the back, but David intervened and got himself killed. Vimto tonight. Other soft drinks are available. Right, Harry Potter. Or as my son used to say, Harry Moosha. Don't know why. And if I say it now, he gets angry. Daniel Radcliffe not interested in doing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child currently. And there he is in the last scene in Deathly Hallows Part 2. Harry Potter film director Chris Columbus had expressed his interest in directing Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint again in a film adaptation of the popular stage play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. No, would they let Columbus do it? Because it's all... is it David Yates who seems to do all the Harry Potter directing now? He's done for years, hasn't he? Is it David Yates? Or Peter Yates? Are they related? Are the two? I don't know. Anyway... Columbus teased that potential reunion of the iconic trio as adults would be cinematic bliss for fans, revealing that he was inspired by what J.J. Abrams did with the latest Star Wars trilogy, except he didn't reunite them, did he? For fuck's sake. Sorry, I swore then. I'd use the F word under my breath. Sorry. Now, in an interview with the New York Times, Radcliffe was asked to comment about Columbus's Cursed Child statement. The actor admitted that it's something he's really not interested in doing right now, especially when he's at a certain point of his life and career where he feels like he has already made it out of Potter. A bit salty that, Daniel. Potter made you. I know you were a kid, but without Potter, you'd probably be nothing. Just saying. Anyway, it goes on. This isn't the answer that anybody's going to want, but I think I was so able to go back and enjoy it because it's not a part of my day-to-day life anymore, Radcliffe said. I'm getting to a point where I feel like I made it out of Potter okay, and I'm really happy with where I am now. And to go back will be such a massive change to my life. Despite this, Radcliffe isn't fully closing the door on Harry Potter just yet, revealing that he might be open to reprising the titular role in the distant future, given that a significant amount of time had already passed since the Deathly Hallows film. I'm never going to say never, but the Star Wars guys had like 30-40 years before they went back. For me, it's only been 10. It's not something I'm really interested in doing right now. So I'm basically saying it'd go back and play Harry Potter, the headmaster of Hogwarts, with a big long beard. Wouldn't he? I think that's what he's getting at. Anyway, based on an original story by J.K. Rowling, as in bowling, Jack Thorne and John Tiffany, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is an ongoing two-part play written by Thorne, set 19 years after the events of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows novel. The story now centres around Harry and Ginny's youngest son, Albus, as he enters his first year in Hogwarts, where he befriends Draco Malfoy's son, Scorpius. Last year, circulating reports about HBO Max eyeing a possible spin-off series based on J.K. Rowling's hit Harry Potter books and films had surfaced online. However, Warner Brothers immediately responded and shut down the claims, confirming that there are no Harry Potter series in development at the studio or on the streaming platform. The Harry Potter 7-book series was adapted into 8 films that earned over $7 billion at the worldwide box office. Warner Brothers also has the Fantastic Beasts prequel series of films under its belt, with the 3rd instalment currently set to release on April 15, 2022, following up 2016's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and 2018's Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Oh, there we go. So that's that. So he don't want to do Harry Potter just yet. He wants to wait until he's old, I suppose, and then he can go and live on an island and give up magic, and then a young witch will come and find him, who's strong with magical witchy power, and beat him, in every way, and then he'll come and save Hogwarts, but from a distance, and then disappear. I've seen that somewhere before, but I can't think where. Right, Watchmen. Oh, no, it ain't Watchmen. Watchmen creator Damon Lindelof is working on a secret Star Wars movie. And if Damon Lindelof's doing it, it'll be crap. I'm not a fan. From the 3rd season of The Mandalorian to the forthcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Ahsoka Tano series, there's a lot to look forward to. In the realm of television, Star Wars fans have a lot to anticipate. However, what about films? There's no need to be concerned. Damon Lindelof, co-creator of Lost and The Leftovers, as well as the creator of the Watchmen TV series, is said to be working on a new Star Wars film. Lindelof has indicated an interest in directing a Star Wars movie in the past, but after watching J.J. Abrams' controversial portrayal, he hasn't made any steps forward. Lindelof, however, appears to have overcome his I went all arc right then, didn't I, in open all hours. Lindelof, however, appears to have overcome his perpetual fear. Lindelof's Star Wars film, supposed to be something there, probably an advert. According to Jeff Snyder via The Ankler, the writer-producer is currently developing a Star Wars movie. Snyder has already disclosed unexpected elements about a number of films, including the villains and even some of Spider-Man No Way Home's unexpected protagonists. And here's his tweet. Exclusive via The Ankler, I'm hearing that Damon Lindelof, the creator of Watchmen and the co-creator of Lost and The Leftovers, is working on the new Star Wars movie. There. Back in 2020, during an interview with Fandom, Lindelof mentioned that he would love to be a part of the Star Wars universe only if he wouldn't be blamed for ruining it. Well, that's already ruined now, isn't it? So you'd just be adding to the ruin. At some point, but certainly not in the immediate future. Oh, just read that, haven't I? And then he goes on and says, I'll read it out. At some point, but certainly not in the immediate future, I feel like I would love to do something in the Star Wars universe. Maybe a decade from now, when I would no longer be blamed for ruining it. That would be a hoot. Lindelof. Lindelof has yet to confirm or deny the claim, but history suggests that development may not even reach a complete movie experience, aside from a Rian Johnson trilogy still in the works. No, it ain't. Plans from Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins, which probably ain't going to happen, and the Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, which definitely not going to happen, have been cancelled. Oh, right. Fans may want to hold off on their excitement until anything more definite emerges. Until then, Obi-Wan Kenobi will be the most recent Star Wars movie to be released. This series starts Ewan McGregor, is set to premiere on Disney Plus on May 25th, 2022. But if Damon Lindelof writes a Star Wars film, it'll be absolute garbage because he doesn't know how to... How shall I put this? He's a J.J. Abrams acolyte, isn't he? So he's a mystery box man. That's who he is. I think J.J. Abrams got his mystery box idea from Damon Lindelof because that's all he knows how to write. Mysteries with no... he doesn't know how to write the outcome of the mystery. It's just all mystery. It's just one of these that's you don't need to explain everything, so they don't explain anything. So they end up with incomplete stories, which are, which fans don't want, do they? Fans want complete stories. They want a beginning, middle, and an end, not just lots of beginnings. And that's all you get from the likes of J.J. Abrams and Damon Lindelof. So it'll be rubbish. So there you go. Right. Night Sky, J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek sci-fi show gets a May release date. Prime Video has confirmed that the new sci-fi series Night Sky, which stars J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek, will debut in May on the streaming service. And there's a picture of J.K. Simmons not showing his muscles. Where are we? There we go. Everybody likes J.K. Simmons, don't they? J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek are set to star in Amazon Prime Video's new sci-fi show Night Sky, which now has an official release date for when it will hit the streaming platform. Night Sky, originally titled Light Years, probably changed it so it didn't get mixed up with the Buzz Lightyear film that's coming out. Stars Simmons and Spacek as Irene and Franklin York, a couple who discover a doorway to a distant planet hidden beneath their backyard. Sounds fascinating. After years of hiding their inexplicable secret, the Yorks' lives are turned upside down by the arrival of an enigmatic young man, played by the newsreader's Chai Hansen. Is it Chai? I don't know. Who leads them to discover that the mystery is even more complicated than they had ever originally believed. Prime Video has now announced that Night Sky will debut on the streaming platform globally on Friday, May the 20th. The 8-part series will drop all episodes simultaneously. So it's obviously something that they don't feel, very confident about, I suppose. And, it's not one of their blockbuster series, because they always get dropped weekly, don't they? Anyway, Night Sky comes from legendary television and is written by newcomer showrunner. It's not going to say it's going to be bad. And is written by newcomer showrunner Holden Miller. Among the producers is Gotham's Thomas J. Whelan and Emmy-winning executive producer Philip Martin. Recent Amazon original shows that have proved successful on Prime Video include action thriller Reacher, which I still haven't got round to watching, and I've heard it's really good, and Star Trek Picard Season 2, which started off okay, but it's gone a bit downhill. But we're only 3 episodes in. Simmons, who has previously lent his voice to Prime Video's animated series Invincible, which is really good, is fresh off of Hollywood hits including Spider-Man No Way Home, and is currently nominated for an Academy Award for his role in Being the Ricardos, which is I Love Lucy, what's the bloody name now? Brain, yeah, one of the most famous people in history. Can't remember her name. SpaceX has been less active as of late, and this new series marks her first project since her last Amazon series, Homecoming, in 2018. The new show is shaping up to be a gripping sci-fi adventure with mystery, twists, and drama to spare. Prime Video users can look forward to what may... Lucille Ball, yeah. God, got that in the end. Prime Video users can look forward to what may be Amazon's latest hit when Night Sky debuts, in May, on May the 20th. There you go. That sounds interesting. I'll give it a look. When it comes on, because as I said, everybody likes J.K. Simmons, and I do quite like Sissy Spacek as well. So it should be okay. As long as it's not too weird and it's not too woke. Anyway, let's move on. Right, Moon Knight episode runtimes have been shared online. The runtimes for the first 4 episodes of Marvel's new Disney Plus series Moon Knight have been revealed on social media. And there's Moon Knight. Got to admit, don't know anything about him, apart from his Marvel's Batman, I suppose, but with powers. Anyway, less than a fortnight ahead of its premiere, runtimes for the first 4 episodes of Marvel's Moon Knight have made their way onto social media. Julia Delbel of The Direct. We're getting a lot of The Direct stuff lately. Is this a new website that's come up? Or has it been around for years and years and I've just started noticing it now? I don't know. Anyway, shared details of the Moon Knight episodes over on Twitter. According to Delbel, that's the right name, isn't it? The first episode is 45 minutes long, episode 2 is 50 minutes long, episode 3 is also 50 minutes, and episode 4 is 51 minutes. All the running times listed include the credits sequence, which is apparently 5 minutes long. This would mean that the first episode is the shortest of the stack at around 40 minutes in length. And there's the tweet that tells you. No episode titles yet. The Disney Plus series has garnered much intrigue in the months gearing up to its release, and the first Phase 4 offering to entirely revolve around an unexplored character from Marvel Comics in the MCU. 2021 series WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye all led with characters that Marvel fans already knew from previous MCU movies. Oh, pardon me. Those projects did take the opportunity to introduce other new characters into the MCU, including Echo, John Walker, Monica Rambeau, Ravonna Renslayer, and Kang. But Moon Knight will reportedly focus on its complex new character without counting on the audience's awareness of the rest of the Marvel Universe, at least initially. In that sense, it is the biggest gamble on piquing the casual interest of Disney Plus subscribers by Marvel Studios to date. Beloved Star Wars and Ex Machina star Oscar Isaac, along with his British accent. I can't tell the difference between dreams and reality. Will reportedly depict the central character of Mark Spector, who has dissociative identity disorder, as struggling with his mental health in the 6-episode limited series. Though Spectre is Moon Knight's main identity, he also has alternate ones like anxious gift shop employee Stephen Grant. Spectre also has a psychic link to the moon goddess Khonshu, who is capable of reviving him if he dies. In the comics, the character protects those who travel by night and dishes out brutal vengeance where necessary. Initial reactions from critics who have already been treated to previews of the first 4 episodes have been overwhelmingly positive, praising Isaac's performance and describing the bonkers series as a psychological thriller with shades of Indiana Jones. Moon Knight was created for Marvel Studios by Jeremy Slater, who did The Umbrella Academy, which I've not seen. I know it's on Netflix, I just never got round to watching it. It's been directed by Mohammed Diab, Cairo678, never heard of it, and the endless duo of Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. I've seen The Endless, it was alright. Ethan Hawke stars alongside Isaac as Arthur Harrow, while May Kalamawi Remy co-stars as Layla El Faouli. The late Gaspard Ulliel, twice upon a time, plays Anton Mogart, a.k.a. Midnight Man, and F. Murray Abraham voices Moon God Khonshu. The show will get underway on Disney Plus on 30th of March. And there we go. So that's that. So there you go. Why just the first 4 episodes? Oh, because they've been released, to reviewers, haven't they? Well, 4 episodes of a 6-episode season. They've let reviewers see the first 4 episodes. That's a bit peculiar, isn't it? A bit peculiar. Anyway, hopefully it'll be good. As I said, I don't know anything about Moon Knight, but it looks interesting. But we'll see. Right, Star Trek, here we go. Star Trek Discovery producer reveals how Season 5 will pull from Trek's past. Because they're making a bugger of future, aren't they? On March 17th, Star Trek Discovery concluded its 4th season on Paramount Plus. Didn't see it. With the 5th season already announced for early 2023. I probably won't see that either. Discovery is the flagship show in a new modern era of Star Trek that includes Star Trek Short Treks. God, I hate them. Star Trek Picard. Star Trek Lower Decks. Hate. Star Trek Prodigy. I don't hate. But I don't see it as Star Trek. The upcoming Star Trek Strange New Worlds, on the fence. The still in production Star Trek Section 31, it's not in production. And the hotly anticipated Star Trek Boba Fett. Oh dear. Is that a genuine mistake, or they just, take it Mickey? Star Trek Boba Fett. Yes, Star Trek Discovery began about a decade before the events of the original Star Trek series and featured a ship that could tap into a galaxy-wide network of microscopic spores to teleport anywhere instantaneously. This idea that they use a tardigrade and these, this spore drive that was stolen from an Egyptian game developer. And when he tried suing them, obviously he didn't have the resources of a, billion-dollar corporation, and, he lost. Of course, the bastards! Getting angry again. The 3rd season threw the ship 900 years into the future, where the crew had to face a galaxy where the Federation had become a tiny secret organisation. Well, not really. Just tiny. Hiding out from an evil trade conglomerate and investigating the galaxy. Well, yeah, sort of secret. Well, they cloaked the Starfleet headquarters, didn't they? Which they also called Federation headquarters, because modern Star Trek writers don't understand anything about Star Trek, do they? Anyway, from evil trade conglomerate and investigating a galaxy-wide disaster that crippled all starships for generations. Yeah, because galaxy, it bloody regressed, didn't it? Even though it's like nearly 1,000 years in the future, God, I hate it. I hate it. Throughout these broad storylines, Discovery has held details from the original Trek close to its heart. The lead character, Michael Burnham, Sneako Martin Green, is the adopted sister of Spock's family for one, but they don't mention her ever. They chose not to mention her. Additionally, Discovery heavily involved the Enterprise and Captain Pike, Anson Mount. Didn't heavily involve the Enterprise. Enterprise appeared at the beginning and the end, and met the Guardian of in its 2nd season. Took place partly in the famed Mirror Universe, met the Guardian of Forever, revisited Talos 4, and made many other unambiguous references besides. So what's in store for the 5th season? More crap. Olatunde Osunsanmi, who actually made a film that I really like. He made The Fourth Kind. I think he wrote and directed that, and that's a really good film. But I'm sorry, don't like his Star Trek. One of the show's producers, who also directed 12 episodes, spoke with Screen Rant and revealed some of the plans for the 5th season of Discovery, including how it will continue to draw from classic Trek tropes that have become a highlight of the series. Star Trek Discovery doesn't have highlights. Look at the state of them uniforms, bloody awful. And the replacement ones that they got weren't any better. When asked what Season 5 might contain, Osunsanmi, was appropriately coy, implying that it would involve events in Star Trek's past, but not time travel, he said. The galaxy is a big place where incredible things can happen. Season 5 is shaping up to be, all I can say is that it's not time travel, but we go back into the past to get further into the future. But it's not time travel. There's this old version of Star Trek that exists, and this new version that's being created by Alex, which is rubbish. But there's a lot of things we still love about the old version, because it's good. So it's about pulling from there, not necessarily stories or characters, but more themes and process. And how those stories are told. Tell the stories well. Good stories, well told. Copyright, Robert Marbinet. Applying it to what we do in the future, and that includes Burnham's character and things she does as a captain. Cry a lot. That's all she seems to do. Cry a lot and whisper. At the conclusion of Season 4, the USS Discovery did something not often done in Star Trek by leaving the outer edge of the galaxy and meeting a new species, the mysterious non-humanoid species 10C, from beyond the Milky Way, which apparently looked like female reproductive organs. I didn't see it, but I've seen pictures. Screenshots. In Star Trek, there have been a few allusions to other extragalactic species throughout. The Kelvans from By Any Other Name, or from Andromeda. The old ones from Cat's Paw. The Dowd from The Survivors. Species 8472 from Star Trek Voyager. They weren't really extragalactic. They're from like another dimension, weren't they? They're from, what did they call it? I forgot what they called it now. What did they call it? From a different dimension, anyway. It was like liquid space, but they didn't call it that. They called it something else, didn't they? There have also been a few instances of ships exiting the galaxy where no man has gone before, where no one has gone before. Where no man has gone before were the original series. It was the second pilot. Where no one has gone before were from Season 1 of Next Generation. By Any Other Name was original series. But these instances are rare. The 5th season of Discovery will likely involve well-known events from long ago, although which events those might be have yet to be alluded to directly, and we have no idea how they would come to bear a millennium later. Discovery is infamously cavalier in its attitude toward Trek canon, forging a new path and creating a mythology all its own, based more on characters and their personal journeys. Because it's like the CW, isn't it? Than on a workplace drama or the fineries of the ship's technology. It's no longer a sci-fi show, it's a fantasy show. Given the previous 4 years, it's likely Season 5 will draw from the main characters' pasts in a vital way, perhaps Burnham's relationship with Spock, the Mirror Universe, and her time-travelling biological mother. I can't remember what happened to her. She joined them them Romulans, didn't she? She were on, whatever they call Vulcan now. She joined that... them warrior nuns, aren't she? Is she still there? I don't know, because I haven't watched it. Anyway, until the debut of Season 5 in 2023, we can only speculate. I don't want to. Because Star Trek Discovery is absolute garbage. I liked Season 1, because I thought it was going to be something new and different. So I quite enjoyed it, with reservations. But then Season 2 happened, and the short treks happened, and It's what we call round here Bab. Right, why didn't Obi-Wan recognise R2-D2? This Star Wars theory may explain it. Was Obi-Wan Kenobi truly unable to recognise his old companion R2-D2? Technically, what his old companion? What he was, Anakin's droid, wasn't he? R2-D2 in Star Wars: A New Hope, or was the Jedi Master playing mind tricks? These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. I don't seem to remember ever owning a droid. Obi-Wan ponders in an early scene from Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, aka Star Wars. He's talking about R2-D2, who crossed the sands of Tatooine to deliver Princess Leia's message, and who Luke assumes is the property of the old man. At the time, the comment and Obi-Wan's seeming inability to recognise R2 didn't seem like much, but the movie's unprecedented success and the subsequent need for backstory between the two raised some difficult continuity issues that have only fitfully been addressed by the franchise since. The perceived oversight is more than forgivable. The franchise's success surprised even its creator, and with Kenobi both a key player in Anakin Skywalker's life and quite dead by the end of the original movie. Well, not quite dead, he was sort of dead, because he became one with the Force, so he could still talk, so he wasn't totally dead. He was a bit dead. By the end of the original movie, his past was a logical place to expand the Star Wars universe. That meant studiously avoiding his perceived inability to recognise R2, who, with the prequels and the Clone Wars animated series in place, became one of Obi-Wan's most stalwart companions before their meeting on Tatooine. I mean, it could be argued, I suppose, that he just saw an astromech droid, and yeah, it might look like R2, but it's been, 20 years... Lots of astromechs about. It's probably a lot that looks similar to R2. And maybe he didn't realise it was R2. But he did say, "Come here, my little friend." Didn't he? As though he knew who he was. I think he did know him. I think he did recognise him. He was just pretending not to. In front of Luke. Anyway, right. The base assumption in light of the prequels is that Obi-Wan is playing dumb in order to downplay the importance of R2's arrival. A 2017 Reddit theory posted by My Buster Sword adds to that by connecting to the notion of a companion. It explains that Obi-Wan carefully praises R2 rather than playing dumb, suggesting that he doesn't own R2 in the manner that Luke is describing. Well, no, he never owned R2, did he? That's it, it was Anakin's droid. But even, I suppose Anakin didn't even own him, did he? I don't know. Maybe he did. It's effective not only in smoothing over the bumpy continuity, but in illuminating Obi-Wan's infamously casual relationship with the truth. Yeah, he's a liar. He's a big fat liar, is Ben Kenobi. Don't get me started. Oh, I might have to go into it when I've read this. My theory. Shortly after claiming never to have ever owned a droid, start again. I need another drink. Shortly after claiming never to have owned a droid, Kenobi feeds Luke the saga's most hotly debated whopper by claiming that Vader betrayed and murdered his father Anakin. His defence in Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi was to claim it was true from a certain point of view. A certain point of view? A perspective whose legitimacy fans continue to debate to this day. Regardless of the veracity of his position, it provides some elegant cover for further lies as well, allowing him to feign ignorance over R2-D2 by deceiving Luke. He could justify the lie by claiming that Luke simply isn't ready for the burden of his destiny, and he would likely be right, which saved the entire scene from the potential continuity trap created by the prequels. So my theory is that It was Ben. I'm not saying Obi-Wan. Well, yeah, I say Obi-Wan. He was the one who killed all the Jawas, murdered Owen Lars and Aunt Beru, and that's why he just happened across Luke in that canyon. He just happened across him because he were on his way back from murdering Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru and killing all them Jawas. And he knew Luke were out there, so he went to get him because he wanted him to go to Alderaan with him. And that's why he didn't want him to go back to the homestead, because he knew they were already dead, because he killed them. Because he's a murderer and a liar. That's what I'm saying. Controversial? Yes. But I'm still saying that's what happened. Anyway, the Reddit theory goes one step further by extending Obi-Wan's certain point of view to R2-D2 and droids in general. The galaxy views droids as a servant class, to be used, bought and sold like any other object. Luke buys into the social norm, at least in A New Hope, by treating R2 and C-3PO as servants rather than equals. Well, not really. It tells 3PO just to call him Luke, doesn't he? Not Master Luke or Sir or like that. He just says just Luke. And in the book, he almost gets into an argument with the owner of the bartender in the cantina when it says the droids aren't allowed in here. And it says in the book, the novelisation by Alan Dean Foster, that Luke almost gets into an argument about droids' rights. So there you go. But that's the book. Neither of the droids are apt to correct him, especially after his kindness becomes apparent. Obi-Wan, however, has more respect for them, or at least for R2, by claiming he's never owned a droid before. He's applying the same tactic as his embellishment about Anakin. He hasn't owned a droid before because R2 is his friend and peer. Yeah, but he were Anakin's. I think he had R4, didn't he, in Attack of the Clones. And that's the only one I can remember him mentioning by name, were R4, but R4 got killed, didn't he? Only at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, it were R4 in the fighter, wasn't it? And he got destroyed, didn't he, by the buzz droids, didn't he? But Obi-Wan didn't seem very cut up about that. Anyway, if the theory applies, his friend Peter, no one can own him, and to claim to have done so disrespects the countless way the little astromech droid has saved the galaxy with his heroics. If the theory applies, then Obi-Wan cleverly makes note of that fact, while simultaneously hiding his past companionship with R2 in the bargain. But he was Anakin's droid. But Obi-Wan knew him. The scenes in A New Hope are sufficiently vague to let the entire affair slide by regardless, and fans have long ago accepted the fact that the film's unexpected success meant going easy on it when it came to continuity with the sequels. You mean the prequels. The theory is simply a more thoughtful means of weaving through the potential incongruities. It adds a layer of personality to Obi-Wan, he's just a big fat liar, during one of his most quietly challenging moments as a character, and in the process makes him just a little bit more interesting. And there we go. Yeah, he's a big fat liar and a murderer, that's what I say. Tell me I'm wrong, I'm sure many people will. Right, science news. Here we go. NASA's giant new SLS moon rocket makes its debut. For some reason, the BBC never put NASA in capitals for some reason. Because it's an acronym, and there it is, look. A big rocket. The American Space Agency has rolled out its new giant moon rocket for the first time. The vehicle, known as the Space Launch System, SLS, was taken to Pad 39B at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida to conduct a dummy countdown. If that goes well, the rocket will be declared ready for a mission in which it will send an uncrewed test capsule around the moon. This could happen in the next couple of months. There's another photo, somebody talking there, as it says. Bill Nelson was a prime mover behind the rocket when he was a US Senator. Presume that's him. With the thing in the back, the rocket in the background. It is cool, though, isn't it? I mean, look at that vehicle assembly building. It's good stuff. Ultimately, bloody scroll thing. Ultimately, it's hoped astronauts would climb aboard later SLS rockets to return to the moon's surface sometime in the second half of this decade. But what about, Elon's Starship? Are they going to stick one of them on top of there, or are they going to use his own rockets, his own, super heavy booster? Don't know. These missions are part of what NASA calls its Artemis program. Watching the rollout, agency administrator Bill Nelson said we were entering a golden era of human space exploration. The Artemis generation is preparing to reach new frontiers, he told the spectator crowds gathered at Kennedy. This generation will return astronauts to the moon, and this time we will land the first woman and the first person of colour on the surface to conduct groundbreaking science. NASA's Artemis program will pave the way for humanity's giant leap to future missions to Mars. There's another picture of it on the crawler transporter. And it says that it's now more than 50 years old, and it goes at 1 mile an hour. And apparently it can't go out in the rain. I'm watching the NASA spaceflight video of it coming out, and they were saying if it rains, they've got to stop it and wait for the road to dry, because apparently once a shuttle was being rolled out and it had rained earlier on and it got stuck on the wet tarmac. Bizarre, isn't it? It's bizarre. And there's a diagram of the rocket. Right, SLS is a colossus, a touch under 100 metres in height. It was designed to be more powerful than the Apollo Saturn vehicles of the late 1960s and early 1970s. It will have the thrust to not only send astronauts far beyond Earth, but additionally so much equipment and cargo that those crews could stay away for extended periods. Thursday's rollout from Kennedy's Vehicle Assembly Building, VAB, is the rocket's debut in the sense that it's the very first time everyone has got to see all its different elements fully stacked together. And there you go. The rocket used a lot of technology repurposed from the Space Shuttle program. We shouldn't have got rid of that. The SLS move from the VAB began at 1747 local Florida time. The rocket came out attached to a support gantry known as the mobile launcher. This structure, which is itself 120 metres high, which is like 400 feet or so, just under, and weighs 5,000 tonnes, was sitting atop the same mammoth tractor that was used to move the Saturn V's back in the day and later the space shuttles. The crawler transporter goes very slowly with a cruising speed of just over 1 kilometre per hour, under 1 mile an hour. And after engineers had stopped and started the tractor for various checks, it was 04:15 on Friday morning by the time the procession had reached pad 39B, a total journey distance of 6.75 kilometres. Pardon me. SLS will now be prepared for a wet dress rehearsal. Oh, cracky. Likely to occur on 13th of April, and there's another diagram. There's a Space Shuttle, Falcon Heavy, SLS, Saturn V, and Starship, which is the biggest. And that's how much payload it can take in kilograms. Shuttle could take 29,000 kilograms. So divide it by 2,000. Divide that by 2, so it's what? We'll call it 15 tonnes. Super heavy, 63,800 kilograms. So that's 30 odd tonnes. SLS can take 95,000 kilograms, which is, just under 50 tonnes. Saturn V, so it's more powerful, but it can take less than the bloody Saturn V. It's rubbish. Anyway, and the Starship, it's more than 100,000. So it can supposedly Starship. And the super heavy can take 100 tons into orbit. That's what they're aiming for. Anyway, this will see the rocket loaded with propellants and take the wet dress rehearsal that we're talking about. Wet dress rehearsal. We'll see the rocket loaded with propellants and taken through a practice countdown all the way to a mere 9.4 seconds from the moment of liftoff. The scrub point is just before they would normally light the 4 big shuttle-era engines under the rocket. Assuming everything proceeds to the satisfaction of the engineers, NASA will then be able to set a flight date. The end of May remains a possibility, but more likely it will be June or July. This mission, dubbed Artemis 1, will propel the rocket's Orion crew capsule on a 26-day journey that includes an expanded orbit around the Moon. There will be no one in the capsule for the test flight. This should happen on a second mission in a couple of years' time. The Moon is the initial target, but eventually NASA wants to get people to Mars. And that's the Moon. While NASA is developing the SLS, the American rocket entrepreneur Elon Musk is preparing an even larger vehicle at his R&D facility in Texas at Boca Chica. He calls his giant rocket the Starship. Like SLS, it has yet to have a maiden flight. Unlike SLS, Starship has been designed to be totally reusable and ought therefore to be considerably cheaper to operate. A recent assessment from the Office of Inspector General, which audits NASA programs, found that the first 4 SLS missions would each cost more than $4 billion to execute, a sum of money that was described as unsustainable. Oh, that's it. There you go. So that's why I think this is going to be a big white elephant if Musk gets his Starship working, which I think he will. I think this, it might have its test flights, but I don't think it'll ever send people into space. Might use it to launch, material up there, even to send stuff to the Moon, habitats and stuff maybe. But I don't think it'll ever take people up. I honestly don't. Sorry. Right, another one. Another spacey one. Russian cosmonauts board the ISS wearing the colours of the Ukraine flag. The trio appeared to get changed shortly before arrival at the space station, and one said every crew could choose their own suit. Right, and there's a picture. It's a video, actually. I won't play it. It's a minute long. It'll be just them floating about in them yellow things. 3 Russian cosmonauts have arrived at the International Space Station wearing yellow flight suits with blue accents, colours that match the Ukrainian flag. The men were the first new arrivals on the space station since the start of the Russian war in Ukraine last month. Cosmonauts Oleg Artemyev, Denis Matveyev and Sergei Korsakov of Russian Space Corporation Roscosmos, sounds cool, doesn't it, blasted off successfully from the Russia-leased Baikonur launch facility in Kazakhstan in their Soyuz MS-21 spacecraft on Friday at 8:55 p.m. local time. They smoothly docked at the station just over 3 hours later, joining 2 Russians, 4 Americans and a German in the orbiting outpost. Video of Artemyev, taken as the spacecraft prepared to dock with the space station, showed him wearing a blue flight suit. It was unclear what, if any, message the yellow uniforms they changed into were intended to send. When the cosmonauts were able to talk to family back on Earth, Artemyev was asked about the suits. He said every crew chose their own. It became our turn to pick a colour, but in fact we had accumulated a lot of yellow material, so we needed to use it, he said, so that's why we had to wear yellow. Since the war started, many people have used the Ukrainian flag and its colours to show solidarity with the country. The war has resulted in cancelled spacecraft launches and broken contracts. The Roscosmos chief Dmitry Rogozin has warned that the US would have to use broomsticks to fly into space after Russia said it would stop supplying rocket engines to US companies. Many worry, however, that Rogozin is putting decades of a peaceful off-planet partnership at risk, most notably at the space station. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson played down Rogozin's comments, saying that's just Dmitry Rogozin. He spouts off every now and then, but at the end of the day he's worked with us. The other people that work in the Russian civilian space program, they're professional. They don't miss a beat with us, American astronauts and American mission control. Despite all of that, up in space we can have a cooperation with our Russian friends, our colleagues. NASA astronaut Mark Van Hey, who on Tuesday broke the US single space record of 340 days, is due to leave the space station with 2 Russians aboard a Soyuz capsule for a touchdown in Kazakhstan on 30th of March. In April, another 3 NASA and 1 Italian astronaut are set to blast off for the space station. And there we go. Yeah, that's just a thing to support the Guardian. So yeah, I think they've done that on purpose. I think they're showing that they disagree with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but obviously they can't say it. But I think it's a message. Obviously, not everybody in Russia is with Putin, and they agree with the invasion of the Ukraine. But anyway, so there we go. Right, that's it. Done and dusted. That's the news for today. Get rid of that. Make myself big again. Right, so we'll leave it there. As I say every day, or most days, every day except Friday. Friday's my day off, but even then I still do the Picard review, which episode 3 is on the channel, and there's a couple of other videos I've put up as well. Me drawing pictures, and I did one yesterday, an emergency one about Amazon. The Amazon MGM takeover is apparently complete, so we could be getting some new Stargate, hopefully. Fingers crossed, and it won't be a reboot, it'll be a continuation of the series that we've had. The canon, that is. So, anyway, so we'll see what happens in the next 24 hours, and tomorrow I'll have some more news. But until then, be nice to each other. Help each other whenever you can. And until tomorrow, I'll see thee. Adjust my cap.